This is Two Wit, a podcast for women in tech doing life. I'm Melinda Smith.
And I'm Christy Guzman. Hi, Melinda.
Hello. How are you?
I am lovely. I mean, I have a little bit of dream flu, but
yeah,
it's almost over.
How come everyone gets that? Do you think it's because we're all tired?
I think it's a combination of
touching each other.
Yeah, well, tired plus germs plus just being around so many people and different countries worth of people and different all kinds of stuff you don't normally do.
I will say, knock on wood, knock, knock, that I've never had that. But I also may have had it and not realize that it was just super tired and super hungover. I slept nearly all day on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
And then when I had to, get up, I was like, what happened? It's 2. Where am I?
I did actually make it out on Saturday, but I don't think I sounded as good as I thought I did because my friends kept trying to offer me hot tea and things to soothe my voice. Well, that too. There was champagne. That always makes everything better.
Bubbles make everything better. My husband was so excited to hang out on Saturday night. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll totally go get us some beer. No, it sounds awesome. I'm at the store and nothing looked good. And I was like, it was like Dreamforce midweek. I was like, okay, you can rally. You can do this. Come on, you can do this. Hang in there. He wants to hang out. I rallied.
That's good.
Until 10.
We got it until 10. I like it. And then I might have fallen asleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about some Dreamforce fun time. First of all, of course, we need to have our we're still newlywed, podcast newlyweds question. And wanted to chat a little bit about what's coming up for you in the fall. Are you an apple picker? Do you like PSLs? What's your... I dropped it in there.
For real, there is no fall here. It's forever summer, always summer. It messes with my internal time clock. I will try and tell someone about a time someone visited, and I have no idea when it was. It was either February or June. So I have no idea. I do miss that from being in Colorado, the leaf changing and crock pots and kind of the crisp of the air. But no, I mean, I like Oktoberfest beers and I like to do the crock pot stuff, but it's different when it's 85. It's kind of not yummy.
Yeah, that's what I grew up with. So I feel like being on the East Coast and actually having it get a little bit cold, or when I was in Boston for a while and the first time spring happened, I understood spring for the first time because things do actually die and then come back and then it's beautiful. I think I would like to go apple picking. I feel like you're going to end up with 100 apples and then I'm going to feel like I don't know what to do with them. But conceptually, it sounds like fun. I have been to a corn maze, which is fun. But what is your go-to beverage is my question of the day. And does it change seasonally, non-seasonally in California?
It does. But let me back up. You find apple picking fun, going out and procuring your own food like a caveman, like a fun time activity.
To be fair, I find the idea of that fun. I have never successfully executed doing it. But I feel like if you go, there's also apple cider donuts and hay rides and pumpkins or something.
I like that.
But in my Pinterest Christy, in my brain has done that. Reality me has not. And some of my friends went last weekend, so I feel like my ship has sailed again for another season.
Yeah.
But it's just starting.
Corn maze.
Who knows?
Corn maze sounds fun. Hay rides sound fun. Eating corn and the tea. Okay, so back to my beverage question, or your beverage question.
Ooh.
Yes, overall beverages change season to season, even though I live in forever summer. I do like the Oktoberfest beers. I do like the nutty, yummy beer. And this is usually the time of year that I'll drink stouts, which is atypical for me. And then if it's wine, it's definitely reds for this type of season. I'm not really much of a liquor drinker. I'm drinking liquor, then something's gonna go awry, and somebody needs to take me home by 10 o'clock.
I feel like 10 o'clock is always your drop dead time, no matter what. That's what you're making
Well,
it to.
it's double digits.
That's
I mean,
true.
come
I
on.
mean, I'm not judging. I'm just noticing a trend. I feel like for me, I hate winter beer. Like I'm not a stout, pumpkiny, heavy beer person, so it kind of loses me. I'm on a Moscow Mule kick, and I actually had some good variety of mules in San Francisco. I like when it's got like some random ingredient or some fun something, except it has to be in the copper mug, or otherwise, like it's just not as good. There's literally no
100%.
difference, but like in my
No,
brain, it's not as good. I don't know.
yep. Don't give me a mule in a glass. God forbid you gave it to me in a plastic cup.
It's
Oh my God.
that's the bottom bar.
That's when the Moscow mules are $1. And you're like, I like when they make you give them your ID
Ooh, and
to
then
give
you're
them a
like,
copper mug.
oh, I've never had that happen. What kind of klepto society do you live in? You've had to put a deposit down to get a
Yeah,
glass and a copper mule
you did.
mug?
Yeah, they can get them back. So you have to give them your ID because eventually you'd come back for that, I guess.
Wow. I've
Yeah,
never had to do that. To
but
be
you look
fair,
trustworthy.
well, you look trusting. You have a
Yeah.
kid. You're like adulting harder than I am.
Look, I don't bring her to
Um
the bar
I would hope not. Because then we'd
often.
be what movie is that I can't think of? You've got a
Sweet Home
baby
Alabama.
in a bar. Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's been a few years since I got white girl wasted and like subtly, not subtly, like stuck a glass in my purse. So maybe people just realized I've moved on from that.
What is it about getting super hammered that feels like you need to help yourself to things? Because I've helped myself to things in the early years of my drinking.
It just seems like a lot of things seem like a great idea at the time, and
Yeah,
then
well,
you
this is
need them. All right, are you ready?
uh,
This was my
yes,
fourth Dreamforce.
same.
Um, ooh, ditto. I feel like every year I'm getting a little bit better at managing my life, but I still think there's things that I would do differently. So, what do you feel like it's been, we've had a few days to process. How do you feel you did with 16 and what might you do differently for 17?
I came in earlier this year, which was huge instead of rushing. Differently, I think I would leave later, maybe Saturday. There's a few things I missed on Friday because I was so tired. I couldn't make it to, well, I could have, but I didn't make it to Cigar Force. I was just too tired and then tried to figure out getting my bag and getting to the airport. But I mean, other than that, like I'm always going to be tired. I'm always going to stay out too late. I'm always going to have one more beverage with the friends. So trying to like not be tired. I don't know, maybe working a nap. I took a half-hour nap one day and it was like, oh, like I could totally go out until midnight.
The joy of
Midnight.
the disco nap. Ooh, you made it past 10
Yeah.
multiple
Streamforce, what are you
times,
going to do?
right? It's a special
What are you going to
occasion.
do differently?
I feel like I want to do a little bit more like scheduled exploring time. I feel like I had like such small windows where I was like, I'm gonna go to this lodge and get all the stamps and get the socks, and then I'm gonna go to this lodge and then I'm gonna do this, and like getting more like check the box focused instead of actually like just wandering around the expo. I never make it to like the IoT zone and just things that are interesting and maybe outside my standard wheelhouse, just to like absorb them and be there as opposed to kind of just going to check the box. But
Can we just talk about how amazing the admin meadow and the developer forest and all of that was this year?
the whole
It
first
was
floor,
so all of it was so amazing. They like their attention to detail is always pretty amazing, but this year was like just all encompassing. It was really great. I really enjoyed it. I talked to Jillian and I definitely want to fill out like a Dreamforce survey. The only thing I noticed, and I'm hoping I'm not the only one, or well, maybe I hope I am the only one, is the mist in that room gave me a headache.
huh?
So I would get like an instant headache when I would come into that room, and so I would only be able to stay in like small little spurts. And I talked to someone else that was like, "Yeah, I feel like it's a little, get in your throat." So I I love everything about it. But for me, I couldn't spend more time because I was being sensitive, I guess, to it.
I did not notice the mist.
Which is good. I hope nobody did, and I just am missensitive. But I definitely want to put it out there because out of 100,000 people, what if I'm not the only one that couldn't have spent more time? I really wanted to do a track, but it gave me a headache.
Maybe you're sensitive.
I think so, which is frustrating because, well, I don't want to be. I
Right.
want to just be like, go.
I
I'm
want
made
to
of steel.
I want to do all the things. I will say, from the opposite perspective, things I think were my favorite bestie things. This was my first time ever speaking at Dreamforce. So thank you to Amanda Nelson for inviting me to do that at an App Exchange for Expert session, which I think went really well. I also nerded out pretty hard at this being my first Dreamforce as an MVP, which got us
Woo!
priority seating for the keynote. So we got to be up there dancing around with all the characters that were dancing on the stage and seeing the band and even just like being around all the other MVPs I don't get to see all the time. And we ended up sitting like not too far behind Mark and Parker, and I got a selfie with Parker, and I just felt like I was like this wide-eyed toddler that was like, oh my gosh, like at a carnival. And then of course you've got people who've been MVPs for a long time who probably thought I was ridiculous, but I definitely took a picture with the lady who was holding the MVP sign, like for the seating to direct us, and she was like with me, and I'm like, yeah. So then she handed it to me so I could take my own pictures with it, which I thought was pretty great. So I feel like those are two kind of key firsts that were going to make this pretty memorable for me. Of course, I was also the first time as a partner, so I got to, that kind of changed some of my scheduling from making sure I'm honoring that commitment and sending pictures back to marketing and those kinds of things. I was on our live feed one day, which was awesome with our lovely videographer. So we had a great time.
I love how Dreamforce literally turns into like selfie force or ussy force the entire time. I love getting all the pictures. I got pictures with randoms all the time too. I was like, what's your handle? Because that's what I say now. The partner thing, though, I was going to say this is the first year as a partner for me, and it completely changes your view of the expo floor.
Yeah, because
before it's like I don't write the checks or we're not going to do that. So I don't go show me the cool stuff I can't have. Now it's I can go out there and look, and I possibly could use these solutions to help my clients. So it was like, yes, please scan my badge. Yes, please contact me, which has never been like that. Usually I'm like, oh man, how many emails do I have to say no to? For me, I really feel like this is the best Dreamforce, which cracks me up because every time they talk about Dreamforce, as in Day being Salesforce, they always say it's going to be the best
one ever.
Yeah, right. So it always makes me giggle. For me, it was because I took the time to get involved in the community activities. I've been in the community for years, but I don't know. I've been a user group lead for 2.5 years. So I don't know, maybe I wasn't adamantly getting involved, but this was the year that I got a mention at the keynote for the Trailhead for All and the Women in Tech Breakfast. Yeah, it was so much fun. Like we got to sit right up front. I was like, oh my gosh, front row seating. And then we got the Awesome People Party for user group leads and MVPs and like the Trailhead Breakfast. I just felt like I really was belonging. And even though I feel much love from the community anyways, it's different when you're there and people are excited to see you. And I spent 5 days with like 2,000 of my besties talking about the thing that we like to geek out on all the time. And I would just literally, like, by the end of the week, everything just made me so verklempt and emotional. And I just wanted to hug everyone with like the biggest arms I could get. But being able to feel like a part of the community even more so this year, what just made it so incredibly special to me.
Yeah, I think to me, the coolest things that I participated in were those kind of group events. Like the Women in Tech panel, of course, is the first night. So it's very like, oh my God, hi, oh my God, hi. I like to joke that I feel like there's like an octave when you meet someone and you're like, hi. And then you realize who they are and you're like, oh, hi. Like you get like this whole other level.
Yep.
And then, people I didn't see there, I saw at the user group leader State of the Union, which kind of kicked things off on Tuesday, which worked out great this year. The bacon breakfast, the newbie reunion breakfast that Eric Driscoll coordinates was awesome. I was at a table with some people that I've met before and some people who this was their first year. And I got to be like, oh my God, what are you doing? Where are you going? Like, oh my God, are you so overwhelmed? Like, let's talk about it. And then also like talk to other people from the Southeast Urban Planning team and other people I know from here on the East Coast and like kind of hop around a little bit, which was awesome. And same thing with, like you mentioned, the Trailhead Badger Breakfast, like just being around, sitting around talking to great people that, usually you get to see their little Twitter face and now you get to just be with them and not even necessarily around specific content, but just building those relationships, I think was one of the greatest parts for me from this year.
100%. The Trailhead breakfast too was great because we got to see the whole Trailhead team
Mm-hmm.
and talk to the people, the creators, and the ones that we look up to and adore, Chris Duarte and a lot of Karen Jameson and all of the creators and editors. I think I tweeted this out, so I'm repeating myself for our followers. But there was a time in my life when I would be the first in line to go with someone to Vegas for their first time because I love Vegas because Vegas is amazing.
Ooh.
And I stay up all night there. All night. Past 1.
Look at you.
Yep.
Back into the single digits after the double digits.
But now, as the love that I have for Salesforce and Trailhead and Dreamforce, I feel that way about somebody's first Dreamforce. Like I verbally vomit on them. Like, do this, don't do this, or make sure you see this and don't forget this and don't listen to this and you just forge your own path and you're going to be tired and don't worry about it. And because my colleague was new this year and he said, do you have any tips? And I think I sent him a full dissertation. He was a little bit like, that's a bit much. But I was so excited and I was grilling him. Are you having a good time? Did you go and see this? Don't forget this. And he was still in the mindset, a lot of us are in your first Dreamforce of a lot more like company focus. So he made a lot more client meetings than I had made and made sure that those were attended to, which is great. Of course, we all need to do that. But I was so eager to make sure that he got to do all the stuff that you maybe don't forget or you maybe forget until you meet someone that's gone before. So it's definitely, I'm the same way. I just am like all in somebody's business when they say it's their first time and I'm just blah, blah.
Well, and I think it's an evolution too, because my first year I was with my boss, but I was newer to the ecosystem as a whole. So for me that year, going to sessions was a big deal because I was still learning about being a user and it helped me. Like I saw Steve Mo for the first time. I saw Mike Earhart for the first time. And so I started following their answers or their blogs. And then like that helped me learn throughout the year. So, I mean, this year I didn't do as much of that and standing in line, but I'm in a different place in terms of being a part of the user group leader community and the MVP Ohana and all of that. So it's just like, not that any one way is bad or good, but like you say, like some people, maybe you do need to focus more on client meetings or you do need to focus more on, sessions because you're trying to learn some specific things and go back with some specific takeaways or specific like proof, right? So that's the tough thing with some of these group events.
ROI. Yeah.
With these group events, it's hard to say like, oh yeah, I met this great person. It's like, okay, great. But a lot of that is what's helped me find someone to help me. That, a month later when I needed to build my first flow, I knew who to ask. So there's more intangible, which, working for a partner, I think I don't have to come back with as much of that. I learned A, B, C, D, E because they get Dreamforce as a whole. But for some people, that is maybe more of a focus. So, and less about acquiring socks.
It's always about acquiring socks. I'm new to the partner realm too. And to have the owners of the company like thank me for going and thank me for getting exposure and talking to people and talking to clients was very different than a position where it was like, I need you to prove what you did. I need your expense report. We need to know how spending this was good for us. So I love that too. I really liked, I'm still the kind of customer person part of the ecosystem that gets super jacked about the new release.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Einstein stuff, I think, is so bananas and super cool. And I'm not going to lie, the part I love the most is the little, like the Atom little widget that whenever it's doing its thinking, it's moving and like a
Yeah.
little GIF on the page.
Like you're a
Yeah.
cat trying to follow a laser? Yeah.
Yes. I want that on everything. I'm going to Einstein my life. And it's going to tell me, this is what's better for you. And then I'll ignore it. But anyways, I liked the AI stuff. And then I also really liked the new UI for
Winter?
Lightning.
Lightning.
Yes, for the winter release.
So I came back to being on the winter release. We got upgraded the day after Dreamforce. So
Oh, nice.
my production org is ret to go whenever I get ready to go. But so you like the tabs being back up at the top?
I do. I think it's just much more native. And this actual project that I'm rolling out today is I'm going to build Lightning, and I've actually never done it. So I'm excited to play with it. But yeah, I think I really liked how it matched the app, but I like the tabs better. No good reason.
Well, and I do think that it's also, they've delivered something new with the tabs now, which is great. So it's still, having that one click to get to your recent items, I think can be a valuable time saver. So it's not that they just like went back and it's quote unquote the same as it used to be. I think what'll be interesting to me is going back toward more of an app-driven focus and using the apps the way that they're meant to be. I think my habit, because it's not in your face that you're in, let's say the sales app, right? Then I just use the plus sign and kind of reorder my own tabs and make my own quote-unquote app. So I think the idea of, okay, I'm wearing my service hat now, or I'm wearing my sales hat. I might switch between apps to do different things, which I haven't really done before. So I think that's kind of, now that I can get a new page layout and look and feel per app, then maybe there is a little bit more of an advantage to me using that. So I think that's
for sure
part of the.
I never switch.
Right?
Never switch.
Because really, it's just
tabs there.
As long as I can see the tab, I can go to the plus sign when I need it. Like I don't really switch much, especially because I'm a multi-tab browser person. So then if you switch in one, it kind of switches in all of them, and then I just am annoyed, and so I typically don't do that. But I might, So that's part of why I think I'm about ready to jump in on it with both feet. So I think
one of the big things that I like about that too is like you said, the multiple apps, because I know people use them and I just don't. I like to just have multiple tabs in my plus sign. So I'm with you.
I mean, the behavior is still there if you're a plus tab kind of person. I mean, you can still pick other tabs that you have access to, but I think the idea, because it relates to how you interact with the page, will be interesting to pursue. Although, on the other hand, I'm sort of afraid because I feel like I already have too many page layouts between record types and profiles, and then I'm going to add another layer of that, so I need to wrap my head better around how that's. I feel like I'm going to have such an Inspector Gadget adventure trying to find like who can see what and where things are for them. So that's I'm happy someone else gets my reference.
So earlier I talked about the Trailhead for All. I got to sit up front. Did I mention I got to sit up front?
I did hear a bit of front row. You got to stand too.
I did. I got to stand,
and we clapped for you,
which is much better than the video out there on my lip singing. Let me just talk about that for a minute.
Take a little segue together.
I feel like everyone needs to hear as I lip sync to Prince in my dress, which required choreography that also required me to get down on my knees for a second, because that's what you do. If you're going to do it, you got to deliver the Prince.
Okay.
But when Amy had said, we're going to do the lip sync battle, I was like, that sounds amazing. So it was like a Friday, or I don't know, a Wednesday. Let's not pretend I only drink on a Friday. Anyway, so I'd had beers. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love Prince. I love him with every part of my soul. Like, I got condolence cards when he passed. Like, it was a big deal how much I love him. But after a few beers, I chose a song that makes me feel sexy.
Ooh, hi.
Well, when you're in the admin meadow, sans booze, and the song comes on, it is very different. And all I thought
Ah.
was, oh my gosh, because I did Beautiful Ones, which is just like he's singing to Apollonia. If you don't know the movie, go watch Purple Rain. You'll understand my angst. So I'm like, okay, there's like not a ton of people in the audience. Not a big deal. I'm just going to do it. Because if you're going to do it, you can't like half-ass it. You got to go and go for it. So
Just
I did.
turn on the
I
admin
went,
meadow.
Then I found out later that the Salesforce admin Periscope channel periscoped it all. Awesome. Super excited. And it's back out there and people have been retweeting it. And I have to just own it and be like, yeah, what? That was amazing. Not that I was shaking like a leaf. I had like the shake so badly when I got off stage. And it was like a contest, a 3-part contest. So if I won, I would have gone again, which, by the way, chose a second sexy song that involved a shimmy shake of the shoulders.
Of course.
Oh my God, no.
As one does. I mean, to be fair, we also recorded this like on a legit video camera, not even just a Periscope camera. So, I mean, this is living forever.
I know, but I got to sing to Kara because I was like so scared and like so nervous, which is funny for me, but I just get stage fright. So I was like, I'm just going to look at you. So then when it came for the clap part of who wins that, I stood right next to the judge and literally screamed in his ear for my opponent for fear that I would have to go again. I was like, I can't get on my knees in my dress. And then the next song give you a little shake with the shoulders, and that's what that song required.
I feel like this is like the behind the scenes
oh my God.
Secret stories of the lip sync battle.
Next year, I will choose a crowd favorite like When Doves Cry or Purple Rain.
Or apparently the Whippin' Nene.
Exactly.
Because
not an obscure part of an obscure song in a movie that unless you're a diehard fan, you don't know. And there was like a guitar solo. I don't even know the hand positions. I don't even know if I did that right.
I do feel like the other option for our winner, if I recall correctly, was the Pokemon song. So really, I think anything anyone can get on board with will be a good time. And cheers to Brian James for taking home that trophy. He was pretty excited.
I digress. I guess I first was talking about the admin keynote and video. Because that video, please, you repost that all day long.
Just watching you stand up for Trailhead for All, but just not on your knees for Prince. I was the
only one that cheered for myself. I was like, woo! Oh, we're not doing that?
Oh. I probably did. With my clapper that I don't have right now to obnoxiously clap at you.
But the segue I was going to say.
So yeah, what got you to the front row? Tell us a little bit about...
Yes, so the Trailhead for All, and the premise of the 111 model, and they talked a lot at the Mark's keynote about taking it to a school and bringing it on. And I wanted to pose a commitment, a challenge to our listeners and to us to continue it on. The Trailhead for All is amazing. I will continue that with the nonprofit I work with. We have another 6-week class coming up. And I was asked by the director if I wanted to be the vice president of the chair,
Yay.
Which is awesome. I don't know what that means, but let me in. So I had the opportunity to sit with Joni Martin and ask her some questions about nonprofit. And I really think .org could work for this nonprofit because as I'm beginning to hear, they tend to be a little disorganized or because they focus all of their money and their efforts on their cause, not necessarily tech or organization. Mm-hmm. But what I talked to her about is I want to bring .org to them, and I really would like to bring this women in transition, helping women out of prison and or from transition housing to Colorado when I do go there. And Jessica Murphy has shown an interest and she lives in Arizona. So I need to get my hands around it. But what I picked her brain about is I know a downfall or a pitfall can be giving everything. And if I implement .org, I don't know this, but I assume that I might be the only person that knows it. Mm-hmm. So am I ready to take that on? I already have a full-time job and a family. yes, I want to contribute to the nonprofit. But I had a really great conversation, and she had so much amazing insight, and she's such passion for nonprofits that I'm really fortunate that I know her and that I get to call her a friend and that she's going to help me with this. But that's my goal, is to somehow organize it a tad and then possibly help it roll out to places like Arizona, where Jessica Murphy is interested in helping women, and then take it with me possibly to Colorado when we go.
That would be awesome. I think it is great to have some resources that work in the nonprofit space and can potentially tell you. I mean, obviously, some people, it's their job, right? So they consult and kind of move on. But, how you can kind of balance, because it's a little bit of a different skill. So I think from a consultant perspective, it can be helpful for you, that you're building skills that you might need, because I think there are definitely unique needs that nonprofits have in terms of their object structures and just their focus with Salesforce as opposed to something for profit. But I think that's a great way to give back and learn at the same time.
Shout out to the Nonprofit Success Pack.
There you go. NPSP. I think for me with Trailhead for All, I heard a rumor straight from the horse's mouth that Charlotte and or North Carolina is on Chris Duarte's 2017 travel agenda. So I'm hoping that we can get her to come to Southeast Dreamin', which would be awesome, and see what we can tie in with a Trailhead for All event. Maybe we do a kind of Trailhead marathon. Maybe the planning team is able to kind of go to a school and see if we can help some youths in the area. I know some people on our planning committee are parents, so that may be a good start to get that connection rolling. So I think that could be a great opportunity. And then, of course, it's great to think about, what we could do potentially in my local area in Charlotte, especially because it goes back to, what we've talked about previously of imposter syndrome, or like, do I have something to give to, like, for me, teaching, the idea that I can teach children things seems about Salesforce, seems like I'm not quote unquote tech enough, right? But I have resources. Maybe my skill is the event planning and the go-getting to make it happen, and I bring someone else in to do the actual, quote unquote technical piece. So I think that is where I'm going to focus if I do try to do something locally, in addition to what we can do for Atlanta when we're at Southeast Dreamin' at an to-be-determined date of late Q1, early Q2, and everyone should be there. Okay, thanks.
Hashtag shameless plug.
Well, I feel like that's the...
shameless. You organize it.
Yeah, I mean...
Do it.
It's going to be a big part of my life once we get everything nailed down, so...
It's going to be the best Southeast Dreamin' yet.
I mean, we're only going uphill from here, baby. I mean, we had 300 people in the first year, so we're doing good. I love it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Well,
since we're talking shameless plugs,
ooh.
The first ever Salesforce Women in Tech Focus Conference is coming in July 2017. What?
Can I get a witness?
Yes, thank you. Amen. Witness Success Conference. You can follow the Twitter feed at Witness Success. That's it. Properly spelled out with all of the S's. I had the opportunity and the pleasure of working with Kyla Longy, Maria Belli, and Jocelyn Fenewald. So we're putting it together. It has a name. We're doing site visits. It's coming together. I've already hit my company up for being like a platinum sponsor. They don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means, but they're going to be on the top of the list.
I like it.
So yeah, hashtag shameless plug for both of us. These are going to be amazing events. I'm excited about it. I have a couple things in mind that I want to work out. We have some great content already, and the love and pouring out of affection that people that want to help. I've had Leanne Templeton and Jillian Medill. How can I help you? I've had numerous DMs from females in the WIT community. Like, what can I do? Let me know. Let me know. And I absolutely, I will be asking you to help. Oh, so
Yeah, I think planning sort of turns into like the head cat herder, but that's a skill that you can kind of put on your resume. So
for
so
sure.
now everyone pause but come back and follow SE Dreamin' and witness success. That is a lot of S's.
It
And
is.
I think I mean, Dreamforce, we could already start looking at the counter for next year. We're shooting for November next year, so a little bit later. And I'm not quite already excited because I'm still a little bit tired, but soon enough, I will
I'm already
just be.
excited. I already planned the topic that I want to submit and the activity that I want to do on Monday, and I've already reached out.
Of
And
course.
I really like
Oh,
Dreamforce
I do
like
too.
so
Don't get me wrong.
much.
I do too. So Dreamforce, clearly you like. Let's touch base about some other super faves, Dreamforce or non-Dreamforce related. What else is on your list of things you love right now?
So there is a protein bar called Power Crunch. It's like wafery and it has, I don't know, like 15, 20 grams, not 20, probably like 15, 18 grams of protein and like 5 of sugar. But it's light, unlike the really dense bars. And I brought a whole box this year in some emergency to just kind of get me through between sessions, between meetings, between activities. And what I came to realize is, with the exception of one amazing dinner, I think I lived the entire week on Power Crunch bars, emergency, and booze. And it's not necessarily bad. I don't have the dream flu, but shout out to the Power Crunch bars for keeping me sane.
I like it. I did realize in starting my expense report that I didn't eat dinner on Thursday. I mean, I had like party appetizers, but I don't think I really had a meal, so I could have used a Power Crunch bar.
Yeah, it was amazing. Pretty freaking awesome. And they're just easy. And the other, I know we're probably doing like a couple. I'm just going to give you all the things I love right
Okay,
now.
do it.
I I love hats that I love. The problem with like baseball hats is usually I have a kind of a small head. The bills are usually too long and I definitely feel like Daffy Duck. But the Appy Camper hat we got
Yeah.
that I'm currently sporting, I'll post a picture. Has the mesh back and it's just perfect. It's like all meshed and it's like memory foamed in my head. And I'm also loving that.
Do you like the Velcro back of a
Yeah, as
hat?
long as I don't get my hair stuck in. Yeah.
Touche. I like it. What was your Appy Camper spirit animal?
I'm the Ram.
Yeah, we are. The IT Rams.
Rams.
Except I got the Admin Owl hat. I probably got a plethora of hats, let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I always like to hoard things to share with people who don't get to enjoy Dreamforce as much as I do. Since we're on the topic of swag, oh, hi. I think that my favorite piece was the Quip shirt that says teamwork makes the dream work. And that's
Oh,
like my motto sort of recently because I feel like there's a lot of stuff with maintaining friendships, with a marriage, with work life, that like everyone plays a role. Teamwork makes the dream work. And it's also all the cute little mascots like holding each other up, so it's cute. And I literally like was on my way to present and stopped and was like, what do I need to do to acquire this shirt right now, please? Especially because I have one that actually fits me instead of like the schmedium they usually have in women's sizes. So I was like double triple excited about it. So I'm pretty excited for Salesforce Shirt Friday because then I will wear it.
wait, what? That's a thing? I will do that
It's
from
it's
home, but still.
it's a thing for me because I would live in Salesforce shirts otherwise. So I try to limit myself because I do actually want to be like an adult human in my office and step it up a little bit. So I sometimes I do it if it's my Friday, like if I'm going to be out of the office Friday, I'll do it on Thursday, but or I might deviate. But I try to I feel like Friday's a little more kickback. And of course, now I have my swings on my Salesforce chucks, so I'm probably going to bust those out on Friday too. So I'll be nerding pretty hard, and it'll be wonderful.
Well, I work from home, so I'll do it with you. I do what you do.
Two
Wit podcast Salesforce shirt Friday. Okay, that's a ridiculous hashtag. We'll come up with something smaller.
Right? So what non-Salesforce Dreamforce related thing is your super fave in life right now?
I I love this thing I'm about to tell you or place so much that I literally tried to franchise them with no money or franchise back. Well, I have franchise background, but I have no like I don't franchise people. So there is a place in San Francisco called Ritual Yoga that is dark, candlelit, warm to hot yoga with like loud, loungy drum and bass music. And they give you the motions or the poses and then they just talk you through them. They have a assistant in the class
Mm-hmm.
that fixes you, adjusts you, which I'm a huge fan. I love yoga where they touch me, like adjust me, talk to me, move me. And at the end, they put a cold eucalyptus towel over your eyes when you're Shavasana. And I cannot say enough about how much I love this place. I went to a 6 a.m. yoga on Tuesday. I mean, I put that in my calendar, no shades of gray, to make sure that I went. And I love them. I just want to live at their studios. I was like, you should come to LA. You should come to Denver. And she was like, here's your towel. Please leave. It's time for the next class,
Don't
crazy
need a
pants.
business plan. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming.
right.
Happy you liked
We're
it.
solid.
To be fair, are you a yoga person all the time?
I, I am
Yeah.
indeed, but I've gotten all intense about it. Like if it's not hot or making me feel like, well, when I leave a hot yoga, if my conversation in my head is I can't decide if I want to cry or vomit, that's a good yoga to me. And I know that most people are like, I just want to feel zen. And I'm like, I just want to feel like I'm coming out of my skin. So yeah, I'm a little intense when it comes to yoga.
I feel like that's somewhat of a stereotypical Californian response. Like, do you also like avocados and
Yep.
walks on the beach
Yep.
and flip
I
flops?
do.
What else you got?
I like some juicing. Um,
With
I like
avocados
eggs
in the
in
juice.
summer. So, yeah.
I like it. Way to be the best parts of all of the California stereotypes.
What about you?
Um,
What kind of non-Salesforce, Dreamforce related fave are you liking right now?
okay, so I don't know why this took me so long to figure out. I have a pill I have to take every day, and I have to take it with food, so I can't take it before bed, which used to be my go-to like thing. So I downloaded an app. So simple. This is not complex. It's called Round Health, Round Corner, Round something. And I told it what I need to take and when I need to take it between 11 and 1. And so it gives you like gentle reminder around 11. And then if you don't check it off that you've done it, it gives you like hardcore reminders as it goes along. So it's like easy. I just have to go like boop boop and check it. And I've tried like the little grandma thing of the days of the week like pill thing to try and remember, or I've just like failed. And I think Dreamforce specific. Well, I was sick for before Dreamforce, so then I was off, and then Dreamforce I wasn't eating or I was eating like as I was walking somewhere or whatever. So being out of my regular routine like disrupted it even more, and so I was like, I need to find a solution, and I was like, why don't I check the App Store? And I don't know why I didn't think about that sooner. I also added the dog's monthly medication in there so that I remember to give them their heart guard because I mean they're not going to remind me, so I have to figure out a way to, remember to keep
Well,
them
it's because they're lazy.
right. They like having fleas, so just kidding.
Yay! I
My
love that. I
dogs don't
have
have
a
fleas.
reminder. I have one similar, but it's not called that. But yeah, I
Well,
have one
yeah,
to remind me because
and there
I
was
have
other
to
like
remember.
fancier things like what if you have like post surgery or you have kids or elderly parents you have to remember this stuff for. So like it's a good reminder that there's an app for that for most things. And I don't know why it just occurred to me to search for that fairly recently. So there you go. Thanks Apple. Even more dependent on my iPhone product until the battery starts dying and I need a new one.
Yeah. Well, my theory is it's built in to die, and after about 2 years max,
Mm,
then you have to buy a new one. You're
yes.
welcome.
We won't
But you know
start
what? I don't
in.
even care. I like it. I'm in. I'm
I'll take
100%
it.
in. Here's my money.
I'll buy
It's
some
fine.
Bluetooth headphones and we'll get on with this parade.
Hey, quick side note. I know nobody can tell because, well, they can only hear us. Our awesome producer, Kara Walters, is taking care of us again today. So I just wanted to give her a shout out. Whoop, whoop.
Hey, she's a keeper. I also, speaking of shout outs, I want to say thank you to people who took our stickers at Dreamforce, even the ones that Melinda accidentally ordered in a huge size
Bumper
because
sticker version.
I ran out of tiny ones and I was like, somebody actually, and I want to find who he is so if it was you, you should send us a message on Twitter. Came up and was like, oh my gosh, I love your podcast. Like, he went out of his way to come up and tell me, and it made my freaking day. Like, so.
Yeah, he's the same one that came up to me in my hands-on training for Apex for admins. So, and you have your wife that's in tech. So
somebody, or his boss, somebody.
Tell you.
Because we need guests. So if you know awesome people, please tell us who they are. But just thank you to everybody who's been so supportive in tweeting that they've been listening and mentioning it to us at Dreamforce, sporting your stickers on your laptops or wherever you choose to put your favorite stickers.
To wit love to you all. Thank you so much. We're having so much fun, and it's fun and awesome to know that other people want to listen to us have fun because, well, you never know.
It could be just us talking to us, which I mean is fine too, but it's more fun when people...
2 subscribers.
When random strangers talk to you about things like pantyhose, it's more fun.
Exactly.
If you do not already, you can follow us on Twitter at 2TWO Wit Podcast, and that's where we will post fun randomness as well as when we have new episodes, which hopefully will be every other week-ish. So thanks for your patience as we get that scheduled and figured out and get in a rhythm together.
Yes, and we, on future episodes this season on Two Wit, we will have more guests, more awesomeness, more subjects, more life, and more women in tech.
More times we wish you could see us instead of just hear us so that we can point to things because that's what we want to do. But we will get there, and thank you for listening.
Hey, Christy, stay witty.